I'm feeling a little bit standoffish, but let me explain why first. Let's jump into it. Welcome to this episode of Design Talk by DIY3DTech.com. In this episode of Design Talk, I want to share this with you. So what is this, you might be asking? Well, it's a prototyping stand. So as I've mentioned in the past few episodes, I'm working on some motion control systems and I need a way to prototype or mount the motors to them in a way that I can experiment. And this is that jig that I'm going to use. Now, I've designed up these stanchions or legs to mount to the 2040. For those that might not be familiar with the 2040, it's 40 millimeters tall, has two V-slots, 20 millimeters wide with two mounting holes. And so it's like two pieces of 2020 glued together. So this will give me enough mounting surface for my motor assemblies to go to and be sturdy enough. Now, I also needed the legs to be sturdy enough. So in the design, I made them approximately 80 millimeters tall. I made it a little bit proud to handle the difference to be able to go around the 2040. Now, I'll explain that a little bit more in a minute. And as you see, I've recessed this opening and put supports around the outside up to 6 millimeters thick to hold the weight and make it sturdier, but yet I didn't want to get too deep to have to use too long of a bolt. So with that, also for cosmetic reasons too a little bit, I designed up these brackets, and that's why it's a little bit proud. A lot of times the 2040 or the Maker rail in general, when you cut it, it's not so pretty like this one right here. Well, I like my stuff to be pretty, attractive, you know, I make videos with it, and so I designed up these clips that pop over the end. Now, you don't have to use the clips, but they snap on over the ends. Much like this. And it gives you a nice clean appearance. And then what we do is we take and we mount this. They're basically the same profile as the legs, and we mount them. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll fast forward. We'll come back and we'll take a look at this all assembled. All right, here you go. So we've got the stand together. I use some hex head. I love hex head. I love the looks, and also I love the fact it's easy to get a good solid grip on the heads to tighten them in to mount it. So you know, some M6. I think some number 8s would work too. You could thread these for number 6s because I tapped out the 2040. And kind of long story short, as you can kind of see here, you can't see here, it stands up right here. And what this will give me the ability to do is take and mount this motor assembly on here and set this up like this and be able to work with the attachments or accessories I've got to, you know, create to go on top of the motor assembly here. So this gives me also enough bottom clearance where if I want to, I can take, and I did a video on these geared stepper motors, and see the clearance that I have down here. This is what I want to be able to have enough clearance where I can use a geared stepper motor. I can take a regular stepper motor. Obviously, I've got enough clearance for that. Whatever type of motor I want to mount down here or size, I can do it, and I've got enough clearance here. Yet it is very stable to be able to handle that motor weight without tipping over. So it allows me to prototype it. And on the other side, what I can do is I can mount my Arduino control board. I'll be also publishing out on Thingiverse, if I haven't already, a Arduino mounting bracket to mount the Arduino and these stepper controls on the other side. So I got one tight package that I can put on my desk, not going to take up a lot of space, not going to have a bunch of wires running all over, and I can develop the code to run the stepper motors, because that's really what this is about more so, is to develop not only the hardware, but to have a convenient way to set it on a desk without taking up a lot of space to actually to create the software that's going to run this. So if you're doing something like this, if you're doing projects with motors, motion control, Arduinos, this is a super handy 3D print to have. So I'll put these STLs out on Thingiverse. Go out there, grab them, to use them to your heart's content, enjoy, invent away. And hey, Swag Shop will be up there. Subscribe over there. And we'll catch you guys in the next video where we see more of this and design and build more cool stuff. Cheers.
Please click like below and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date on all of our projects.